Okay, so the president now sees this as a potential two-way race for Democrats in 2020. Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall and former special assistant to the president, Kelly Sadler, join us now for more. All right, great to have you both with us tonight. Before we get to that, I want to ask you both for a reaction now. You know, Rudy Giuliani's a personal attorney for the president. He took a lot of heat today. The president said, I don't know much about what he's going to do. I'm going to talk about it with him tonight. He says he's not going to Ukraine for either of these investigations about Hillary Clinton or about Joe Biden and his son. Quick reaction from you both. We'll start with you, Leslie.
I think it's a wise move not to go. I mean, I think all of that we've heard about with Russia, obviously, in the investigation, and concern for many Americans, rightly so, is not just interference in our election, but seeking help from foreign governments for elections. And it's wrong left or right. So I think it's the right move. Besides the fact, Rudy Giuliani is the personal attorney to the President of the United States, not his campaign manager.
All right, Kelly.
You know, I think it's a smart move for him not to go. However, I do think that there is a story that needs to be uncovered on how the dossier came to be and what the Clinton campaign had to do with it and what, you know, Biden's son was doing in, you know, the Ukraine, collecting money from the Ukrainian government or consulting or whatever. There's a there that I think that, you know, needs to be investigated by more mainstream media news outlets. They're not going to be able to ignore this story for the next 17 months.
Okay, so we've heard a lot of chatter, Washington rumors and whispering that the Trump campaign does not like the idea of the president matching up against Joe Biden. But he's very much treating him like, hey, it's on. This is the nominee and let's get to it. He even said last night at his rally, it was last night or the night before, where he said, listen, let's just pick someone and get it on. The last average of Real Clear Politics in looking at some of these nationwide polls, head to head has the former Vice President Biden up 7.3 points against the president. So, Kelly, what's the strategy here?
Well, I mean, we're not really worried about any candidates or any polling at this time so early in the election. Listen, there's 20 plus, you know, Democrats in the race for the presidency. Joe Biden has the most name ID. And so I think that's probably the reason why you're seeing him poll so high. On his policies, he's spent 40 years in Washington, D.C. He is a swamp monster. We don't know what his positions are. You just saw the campaign put out an ad about him and how he felt about the border wall when he was back in the Senate. And now, you know, just this week, he said that all illegal immigrants should have, you know, free health care paid for by the American taxpayer. I mean, what a flip-flop on that issue. We just are seeing him getting pulled further and further to the left, to these radical socialist sort of ideas. And, you know, good luck trying to attract Rust Belt voters with those sort of radical reparations, right. Medicare for all, everything.
Let me bring Leslie in here because it's interesting. This is the most diverse field. We keep saying that the Democrats have ever fielded, that any party has ever fielded with the primary contenders that we have right now. But a Monmouth poll out just this week says 2/3 of primary voters point to finding a nominee who can beat President Donald Trump as more important to them than agreement on the issues. I mean, right now, they're flocking to the former vice president. We know Bernie, Senator Bernie Sanders is in second place. It's two older white men. Leslie, what does that say about the effort to field a more diverse ticket this time around?
Well, I think just to what you said, Shannon, the Democrats do, myself included, want to have Donald Trump become a one-term president. And the only way to do that, many people feel, is to have a candidate that can beat him. And I've said before on this program and others on Fox that I do believe Joe Biden is that guy. He is, in a sense, the opposite of Donald Trump in many ways, being from inside the Beltway and a career politician. But at the same time, he's very much like Trump. He appeals to that blue-collar worker. And Kelly, I will go to Vegas to bet against you, girl, that Biden will take those states of Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan if the election is held tomorrow, and even when it is held in 2020, if he's the Democratic nominee. But he also has this shoot from the hip, no malarkey kind of talk that he always says that Trump does as well.
Yeah, they do have that in common. We got to leave it there, but we will set up a legal wager between the two of you and have you come back.
I'd gladly take you up on that bet.
All right, it's a deal. Thank you both.